Hey everybody, and welcome to the Equinor Summer STEM series. My name is Mr. Richards. I'm a pre-service teacher at the University of Houston. I'm with the Teach Houston program, which is a great program for aspiring math and science teachers. And we've got some really cool stuff planned for you in this series. So let's go ahead and jump right into today's guided activities. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the second section of our Python tutorial. Before we get started looking at any graphics or animations, we're actually going to need a better way to interface with Python on our computer. And we're going to do that through this program here called PyCharm. So our mission today is to get this installed and set up on our computer. So let me just take you back in time and show you how that works. We're going to need a different way to interface with Python on our computers. So if you remember from the first video, we saw that we could do it through the command prompt, or we could also do it through the Python shell. Now, those are decent ways of working with it. However, when you're dealing with complicated code and something that actually runs and looks like a program, we're going to want something that's a little bit more sophisticated. So the shell, we actually said, was called an IDLE. Or what we are going to want is we're going to want a different type of development environment, a different type of IDE, and there's loads of them. You can find a bunch of them online. And so after experimenting with a lot of these different ones, I've found that the best one for our purposes, and it's one of the smallest ones, but still has a lot of the capabilities and it's still sophisticated enough to do the things that we want, is called PyCharm. So you can go into Google and type in PyCharm, and the first website that's going to pop up is going to be where we can go to get PyCharm. But before we do that, I want to make a quick recommendation. So this is not required in order to complete all the activities that we're going to be doing today, but it's highly recommended. I'm definitely going to recommend that you get a different type of text editor. So a lot of these modules that we're going to be creating, or these .py files, can be written as text documents. So you can go into any kind of text editor, like Notepad, not like Microsoft Word or anything like that, but like a Notepad, and write down a bunch of code and save it as a .py file, and then you will have something that a Python interpreter can recognize and read and pull from. But like I said, we're not going to be using this today, but it's just good going forward whenever you start trying to write your own code, that you have a good Notepad program that is compatible with writing computer code. But the first thing that we want to do is I do want to show you guys real quick how to download PyCharm, because there are some specific settings and things that we want to get set up here. And so we're just going to go to the website here and click download, and you're going to have two different options when it shows up. You have a professional option and you have the community option. So the professional option will let you play with the pro version for, I think it's about a month that you get the free trial, and then it'll ask you to pay for it. And that's, depending on which type of this that you want, it's anywhere between $9 and $20. We don't need all that for what we're going to do. Right now what we're going to do is we're going to download the community version. So once we have our installer downloaded, we can just open that thing up from the window, or as I said, you can go back to the downloads to find it. So we're going to open it up, click next, and unlike last time, we don't need to change the destination of where it's going to actually install, because this is going to operate just like any other program that you would download onto your machine. So I'm just going to let it go right into the program files right where it wants to. And now once we get here to the installation option, there are several things that we want. A desktop shortcut is a good idea. You absolutely want to check this box that updates your path variable. If you remember last time, we had to click a box that said add Python to path. What this is going to do is it's going to allow any other code or command prompts that we use to access PyCharm. We won't be doing that today, but just for further use, this is definitely something that you want. This option right here is very, very useful as well. We want to add this open folder as project option. I'll explain a little bit more later about what this does, but this is one that is optional. I'm not necessarily going to do it, but what this is going to do is it's going to associate any file that ends in .py. So any of those Python modules that we talked about earlier are now going to be associated with PyCharm. So if you go to any .py file and open it up, it's going to open up in PyCharm. Now, I am not going to click this box because sometimes I like to open them up using the shell or using that Notepad++ that I definitely recommend you download. But I don't always want them to open up in my IDE, and so I'm going to leave this unchecked. It's up to you whether or not you do that. Again, you can always go back and adjust some of the settings later on after it's downloaded. And now it's going to ask you to choose a start menu folder. You have the option to put it in this one that is titled JetBrains, which is the name of the company that makes PyCharm. It doesn't really matter where you put it. I just like to keep all of my Python stuff together. So I'm just going to create a new folder called PyCharm and let it go there. That way, whenever I go to look at my start menu, I have my Python interpreter and I have PyCharm in the same place. And now, like I said, this install will probably take a few minutes or more depending on your computing power. So come check back in whenever we finish with the install. Once our download is finished, we're going to be prompted with this because we chose that add PyCharm to the path option, and it said that we're going to have to reboot in order to do so. So let's go ahead and reboot this and get into some fun stuff. Okay, so after the reboot, we should have a desktop icon here on our desktop somewhere, and we're just going to go ahead and open that up and finish installing PyCharm. All right, so we get this little window here that says, do we want to config or installation folder? This means that you might already have some PyCharm settings, but if you do, then you probably wouldn't be watching this tutorial. So if you're installing PyCharm for the first time, we're just going to leave this box checked where we do not want to import settings and click OK. Then the next thing that is going to pop up is it's going to allow you to set the UI or user interface theme. So you get two choices here. You can either have the dark theme or the light theme. So I'm just going to leave it on dark theme because I like that one better, but whichever one you like more. And then we'll click the button next for featured plugins here. We don't need any of these for what we're doing. Idea Vim. Vim is a text editor. R is for the programming language called R, which does a lot of things with statistics. And then the AWS toolkit is a lot of tools for debugging software, and we don't really need any of that. So we can just go ahead right down here and click Start Using PyCharm. So we will get this window here where it says Welcome, and what we're going to do right now is we're going to click this button right here to create a new project. And it's going to give us a location where we're going to save this project, and it's under the PyCharm projects folder right here. It just gives you like an automatic address based off of the install. I'm going to go ahead and call this project arcade 1 because the name of the module that we're going to be playing around with is called arcade. And we definitely want to have this box checked, not existing interpreter. We want a new environment, right? And we want to make sure that this is what is selected is the virtual environment. And we should have the location already set. It's going to set up a new folder inside of our project. And if this is not checked, what we want to do is just make sure that the base interpreter is running to the original Python that we had installed the first time. So you just want to go here and make sure that we're running this python.exe. Let's go ahead and check this box right here to inherit global site packages. What this is going to do is it's going to allow us to pull packages, which are large collections of modules from the internet. And now Python actually has a built-in capability in order to do that. So we definitely want this done because we're actually going to need one here. And then you just click the create button and it should go ahead and start setting up our project. Okay, so once it's done putting the environment together, we should see this tab over here that says project. And you should see the folder name that you created. The first thing that we want to do in order to complete today's activities is we want to right click this folder here. And we want to create a new file inside of this folder. And we're going to name it requirements.txt. We're going to create a text file called requirements.txt. The name is absolutely important, so we need to make sure that that's the name that we use. So when we create this text file, we're going to see this bar pop up that says plugin supporting requirements.txt files found. And so what this is going to do is it's going to tell our project that these are the specific packages that we want to use for this project. For this one, the only one that we want is one called arcade. So when we put this into this text file, whenever we go to run any of the .py files, any of the modules that we create, and it's actually going to download and install that package of modules in order for your program to actually run. So that's all that we need to put in here is the word arcade. And then we can go ahead and click install plugins. And we can just click OK. These are the ones that we want. Go ahead and accept. We've got our requirements set. So that is going to complete our setup mission and allow us to move forward and do some really fun and interesting things with graphics, animations, and games. So that is going to wrap up this section of guided activities, but you don't have to stop here. Feel free to go into the companion document and check out anything that's listed under further expedition or dig a little deeper, or you could do your own research. You can go and take any of the topics that we talked about and pop it into a search engine and be on your way. And please feel free to check out some of the other sections that we have in this Equinor Summer STEM series. We've got stuff that's covering all kinds of math and science and technology topics that you guys will find interesting. Thank you so much for stopping by. And until next time, remember, the most important step a person can take is always the next one.